but you have to stop doing this if you want to start living. You need to realize who you are in order to take control of your life. Because if you don't control your life, someone else will do it for you. And that's living by default rather than design. And many people are talking about this, but I'm going to tell you in a way that normal people like me can understand it, use it, apply it, and transform our lives with it. So this video isn't just for the spiritual hippies. Who are you? You don't know me and I don't know you. In fact, I will never know you, even if we end up best friends, getting married, or even having a kid together. Even my unborn child, that literally comes from my DNA, will never know me. And understanding this is quite shocking at first, but it is so freeing. The fact that nobody knows who you truly are gives you so much freedom to create whoever you want to be. You need to quickly think of 3 words that describe yourself. Okay, now all those words that have just been conjured up in your mind are how you think other people see you. It's not the real you. You cannot be described. And this is because the real you can never be externalized. You may look at me now, blonde, blue eyes, wearing a black top. This is not me. You will never know me. The me that I know myself as is the one that exists in here, the one that laughs, the one that cries, the one that gets sensitive over romantic movies. That's the real me. But you will never understand the emotions that I feel, and I will never understand yours. I can describe sadness to you, I can describe happiness to you, but our lexicon and our way of relating to emotional experiences are ultimately limited. You have to feel it within yourself to understand it. And me and you probably find different things funny. We probably find different things triggering. We probably find different things upsetting. It's all relative and no one will ever know you. And if you're still confused, imagine it as a collection of colours that exist in your brain. And this is why I push you guys to make your brain a very colourful place rather than one that is dull, drab and black and white. And in summary, your sense of being is experienced by other people, never ever fully understood. And this leads me swimmingly onto my next point, which is you are not your anxiety or depression. I know this may come as a shock to you, but you are not anxious. You are not an outlier of society. You are you, a human being, like I say, who laughs, loves, cries, gets angry. You are all these things. You exist on a spectrum. Like I say, your emotions cannot be externalized. So stop saying that you are anxious, you are depressed, you are this and that. You're almost excusing yourself from living. And you cannot be defined by this false sense of self that has probably been diagnosed to you or given to you by someone else. That does not define you. You cannot be confined by one word, one title. And anxiety and disorders alike are an entity. But these entities, like the colours in your brain, are just that. They exist in the brain. But you've convinced yourself so much of their reality that they externalize themselves and they speak through you. It's the way that you interact with the world. Some of us act in a way that makes us tied to our trauma, that makes us tied to that bad relationship. It is not you. And I understand that life throws some absolute curveballs to each and every one of us. Some go through absolute atrocious things in life. I know that, I recognize that, and I'm talking from a privileged standpoint if I say so myself. But like I say in every single one of my videos, you get one shot at this life. There's no round 2. Afterlife isn't guaranteed. So what we have to do is make the most of our fleeting time on this earth. You cannot keep defining yourself and introducing yourself to a world that is full of abundance and opportunities as someone who is anxious, as someone who is depressed. I know this is triggering, but you have to stop doing this if you want to start living. You are not these things. Those experiences are just that, experiences. Do not allow yourself to be them because it is a false sense of reality. And if you're watching this and you feel so tied to that emotion, so tied to that anxious energy, that you feel well and truly that that is you, that is your life path, then we've got to start the process of overcoming. Listen up, because this is the difficult part of the video, because this is where you realize you are not who you thought you were. I want you to tap on your chest right now. Do this with me. You feel that, right? If you did it on someone else, you wouldn't know how they felt. And I asked you to do this because then you become aware of your body. You are the only one that can make yourself feel that. Another hand can do that, but the feeling is generated within, a vessel which you control. Try and tap your brain. You can tap your head, but you will never touch your brain. It's because the brain cannot be felt by the hand, only by emotion. So imagine you have this issue, okay? Could be money, could be a relationship, it could be the fact that you don't have enough concealer like I do at the moment. And you believe yourself to be anxious, easily triggered, all these things, all these storylines that you currently have going on upstairs. I'm gonna ask you, what would it feel like to feel confident? And I've probably pissed you off right now. Who is this girl telling me to believe the opposite of my emotions when my emotions have become so part of me that I literally greet the world and everybody around me as this emotion? Who is this bitch telling me to believe more in my happiness than my depression? The depression that you felt for years. The depression that's literally written on your medical records defining you as a medicalization of this emotion. All these questions bubbling up right now. All this anger, maybe. All this confusion that you might have watching my videos, you've probably just had a reaction to what I've said. And that is your emotional entity. That is proof that you can touch your emotional entity by listening to things that trigger you. And the fact that it can be triggered means that it can be got rid of. And these emotional entities are powerful. You'll jump to defend them. You'll look for reasons on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, everywhere in your external reality to prove to yourself that these things are real. Other people feel them as well, so they must be real. You're taking medication that's supposed to sort it out, but nothing seems to be working. And this is what I mean when I say you need to question everything about yourself and question who you thought you were. Because you are not your mental health disorder. I want you to first forgive yourself for the way that you've been feeling for all these years, days, seconds, whatever, however long, time doesn't matter. And start to question all that you thought you knew about yourself. And doing this every single day, questioning your negative line of thoughts, your anxiety, your depression, don't give in to it. Because like I say, touching your chest, you can touch your emotional anxiety, your emotional feelings by questioning them. You can't touch them by the hand, but you can touch them in the brain with emotional questioning. Even if you feel absolutely hopeless right now, you just think, oh my God, why is life just so shit for me? I get it, but question it, dig deeper, then counteract them with their emotional opposite. Instead of, I'm so ugly, what would it feel like to be beautiful? Okay, you're probably laughing, being like, oh, I have a big nose, oh, I have spots on my face, oh, I'm so ugly, everyone hates me. No. What would it feel like to be perceived as beautiful? Instead of, nobody likes me, everyone hates my company, I'm never welcome, I shouldn't go to that party. What would it feel like to be the life of the party? I see doors as portals for elevating my experience. When I walk through a door, literally my own bedroom to my flatmate's room, I'm literally like, everyone loves me. Everyone thinks that I am amazing. Every door is a portal for my elevation. And this might sound crazy, but like I say, one shot this life. Why am I gonna bully myself? Why am I gonna hate myself? Why am I gonna think that everybody hates me? Because like I always say, you can't touch other people's emotions. You can't. So why aren't you touching yours in a way that's gonna help you? No one can be like, oh, Alice so full of herself, because I think it in my head. I don't go around being like, look at me, I'm so confident and beautiful. No, I'm telling that myself in my head, because that is where I touch myself the most. That sounds so weird. And it's this mental discipline that takes you from nothing and nobody to everyone and everything in your own life. You can't be affected by negative people. You can't be affected by no money. You can't be affected by anything. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I still have moments where I'm like, oh, I feel a bit down, feel a bit overwhelmed, but I embrace that. It makes me human, it makes me beautiful. But I exist in that state only for a couple of seconds, and then I look for ways to help me, elevate me, put me in a better state of mind, because I deserve this. I've got what, like, how old am I? About 80 more years on this planet. 80, it's a finite time in which that I'm going to spend every single day, every single second trying to make myself feel better. Yes, things are going to upset me in my life. I'm going to lose some of the people who have literally given me life, you know, and that's going to affect me. But I know for certain how to dance in the rain. I'm going to give you one of my secret little tips. I listen to this every single morning.
The fact that the physical plane is moving at the speed of light gives it the illusion of being solid. But in fact, you're looking at basically a non-solid world, a world of thought form of consciousness. Your body being the same thing, your feelings and your thought forms all being different and varied forms of the one and the same energy. And as you look at the way scientific research is going now, you can see that the scientists are getting nearer and nearer and nearer to a unified force field theory, where all energy will be just one and the same energy. I believe that you're not your body, that you're not your mind, that you're not your sexuality, that you're an infinite being inside a body, and that you took on the limitations of the physical plane in order for you to be able to transcend them. And as you look at that, you can understand that the only way that you can pull out of those feelings and out of this conditioning that basically is absolutely designed to hold you down is by you having a force of will that is stronger than the force of will that is trying to control you. And it's not like you becoming wealthy is going to detract from somebody else at all, because we're not living in a finite world. We're not living in a world that only has this much resources or this much wealth.
Because even after years of practicing this and understanding what it's like to be mentally disciplined, sometimes I have doubts. And I'm a consumer and producer of social media. It's literally my job on TikTok and YouTube to produce content. But social media often romanticizes the notion of hating one's life. But I'll do another video on that. And I am no longer afraid of my doubts. I see them as a sign that I'm constantly evolving. Questioning myself is questioning God. So I don't. I just believe. And like I say in every single one of my videos, you can't control your first thought, but you can control the second, third, fourth, and so on. Catch it in the net and flick it out. And you too are only limited by your mind. An entity, like I say, can only be touched emotionally. And look, if you're capable of mentally destroying yourself, then my love, you are capable of making a god out of yourself. You get one shot at this life. Start realizing who you are.